Alright, Kaiju fans, this is Fuzzy Owl. Welcome to a review of the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2019 figure. I got the box here, and the box looks gorgeous. We're going to go over this figure. We're going to talk about articulation, paint application, as well as detail. We'll go over some high-res shots, and first we're going to talk about this box right here. So, this is the box that the figure comes in. You have the Monsterverse logo here, which I think is cool that they've actually branded the Monsterverse. I think that's very neat. Godzilla King of the Monsters, a really cool shot of the figure here. In fact, this was my favorite shot that you can see on Amazon for when they were promoting the figure. Godzilla 2019, you got the Bandai logo here, Tamashii Nations logo right here, and another Tamashii Nations quality sticker here. The Godzilla 65th anniversary with the little Shin Godzilla, 1954 to 2019. The Toho logo and the legendary logo. SH Monster Arts logo, and you can actually see into this box. So you can see the clamshell from there. You can see the figure from the outside. That's very, very cool. And then you got some SH Monster Arts stuff going on there. On the top, SH Monster Arts, Godzilla 2019. Pretty simple, but you can still also see into the clamshell. Simple here. Big Monsterverse logo, SH Monster Arts, Godzilla 2019. You guys can read. Similar on the side, with just the SH Monster Arts logo, but a really cool shot of Godzilla right here. That's him looking up before he releases his atomic blast in the film. The bottom, you got some mumbo jumbo here. It says SH Monster Arts. Another shot of the figure. They're using multiple different shots of the figure in this one, which is pretty cool. Some stuff in Japanese that I cannot read. Again, the choking hazard right there. Do not put Godzilla in your mouth. And then my favorite part of the box, you got the back here. So the back, there are going to be some cool images, I think most, if not all, the promotional images for this figure that they put on Amazon and what they released on the SH Monster Arts site and everything. SH Monster Arts logo, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla 2019, a bunch of stuff in Japanese, but some excellent shots of the figure here. And is that it? These boxes always confuse me. So there you have it. That's the box for the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2019 figure. I've already taken him out of the box, as you can see. Let's move on to articulation, and I think you guys are going to be impressed with this figure. All right, guys, now let's move on to articulation and paint application, as well as detail of the figure. So Godzilla here. Now, starting off with articulation, one thing that they really wanted to make sure they could do was get it so he could look all the way up with his head like that. So you'll see multiple points of articulation along his neck. That way you could pose him with his fire effect here, with his replaceable jaw. So his head rotates on a ball joint. His jaw is also on a ball joint. 1, 2, 3 points of articulation here. This last one doesn't really move for me. His arm, this one's real stiff for me, so I'll show you over on this one. His arm can go all the way around. Again, he's a little stiff and I'm afraid to push it. He has a ball joint for the elbow, as well as a ball joint here for the forearm, and then his hand is on a ball joint there. Now, if you look closely, he does have this joint right here where he can move a little bit, but again, my figure is really stiff. And then he's got another one here where his body can rotate, if you can see that just a little bit. And you can see that seam up the back. His leg will rotate around a full 360, just like that. And then right here, he's got a knee joint. And again, it doesn't go back, like on the NECA, it doesn't go back too far, but it does go forward. So he's got a separated knee, like you see on some SH Monster Arts figures. His leg bends there, and also he has this wonderful ball joint on his ankle. And then onto his tail. So his tail, and again, on my figure, he's kind of stiff, so it really only moves at like a couple major points, and then this one's kind of loose. But there are many ball joints. Anywhere you see a break in his tail, there's basically going to be ball joints there. So that's really, really nice. His tail looks fantastic as well. And yeah, his jaw articulates. You can pop that off and put this one on with the fire effect, and that is separate as well. Moving on to paint application. This is probably going to be my favorite part. I must have got a dang prototype because the paint application on this is absolutely fantastic. His eyes are like a beautiful kind of darkish yellow with the pupils, and they're colored in nicely. They don't look wonky or anything. I don't seem to have any paint issues on my figure at all. His mouth is painted deep, deep red. His teeth are also painted pretty well. And then obviously inside he's got that membrane between his top jaw and his bottom jaw. That also is going to be painted a little bit lighter of a red. So it's a little bit more pink, but it meshes with the charcoal gray of the figure. He has a little bit of highlighting along his chest area, down to his crotch cloaca area, because he's a lizard, and just a little bit, but mostly he's all the same charcoal gray color. There are small, very small hints of maybe like a charcoal gray green, so I will say that. But yeah, overall, Godzilla's got a simple color scheme, and this really highlights everywhere it needs to. I will say, and this isn't so much the figure as it is the film, I do wish they would have given Godzilla the more kind of like ivory bone color at the tip of his dorsal plates. But yeah, you can't win them all. Also, back to articulation real quickly. So his tail is separate. There is a big gap. I will say this figure is kind of seamy, and there is a big gap there. And he does have this separate plate that's like kind of free floating that wiggles around a bit. So you do got to be careful about that. And there is a little bit of a trademark painted on the bottom, legendary, and it also says made in China there. Now, onto the detailing of the figure. So Godzilla here, he's very detailed. From his gills down his neck, to his eyes, to the face sculpt. The sculpt on his face is so much better than the 2014 one. I don't care what anyone says. This Godzilla looks mean. It looks more movie accurate. And there are some similarities between the 2014 sculpt and this one. But obviously the dorsal plates being a huge difference in selling point. His tail is shorter, and it's got that little nub at the end as opposed to being super pointy. And his toes here are bigger. So he kind of still has the elephant trunks, which again, I've stated in past videos, I like that, but his claws are bigger and they're more separated. Hands look about the same. Back here looks the same, maybe a little bit bulkier. And then the chest, I think they did a really good job detailing the chest. They've separated all the dorsal spines up here well enough so they don't get caught on each other. But then looking at the dorsal plates and just the detail on his back, that is such a huge selling point for me. That looks absolutely fantastic. I did think they were kind of thin at first, but I think that they're just as thick as they need to be. They are pretty sturdy. I would still recommend being careful, but you can see the detailing all the way up the plates, especially on the big ones. And then another really cool point is the tail. The tail is detailed very nicely. It's got those little segments like he has just like in the film. That's good movie design for the figures because they must have realized, yeah, Godzilla's kind of had a segmented tail in the past, and that's good for bending. And I think they kept that for the films, and it translates very nicely to the figures here. So again, you got that little wiggly plate, so you got to be careful of that. But other than that, the detailing is fantastic all the way down the tail. Even on the bottom, they didn't leave that smooth. That's nice and fleshed out. His inner thighs here look muscular. You can see tendons, his rippling thunder thighs, the detail on the scales down his leg, and of course his nails. Now his nails don't look to be painted too much of a different color, but there is a little bit of highlighting on them, just a tad. And I want to say they're a little bit lighter of a gray. And then obviously you got the gills. It also comes with this awesome breath effect. This segment right here I think is a little bit bulky. That's a heck of a lot of atomic breath coming right out of his mouth there, and then it thins out. But other than that, it does its job. It holds up nicely. You can see you don't even need a support stand, although I would recommend one for the sake of the joints on the neck. So yeah, articulation, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Some of my joints are stiff, and the tail kind of picks and chooses which sides it would like to articulate. The detail is incredible, mind-blowing. The face sculpt looks amazing, as well as the feet. I love those nails, and it comes with a really nice breath effect. So you do get your money's worth out of this with the breath effect and the detachable jaw, and also the paint application. Again, I feel like I got a prototype on this one. The paint application is superb. It's simple, but very good. So guys, I'm going to be going over my final thoughts here on the figure while I play some shots of size comparisons for all the figures that I have right now. Godzilla 2019 from SH Monster Arts is something that I've been looking forward to for roughly 6 months since I saw its release. I think even longer than that, but I pre-ordered it back in January. I finally got it, and I'm very impressed with this figure. So again, besides some joints being a little bit stiff, like the right arm doesn't really move on my Godzilla figure, and besides that little floating dorsal plate in the back right beneath the base, right by his where his gams meet his butt cheeks there. Yeah, just some very minor things. I'm super happy with this figure. Down to the paint application for the paint in his mouth. His teeth are all painted very well. Maybe a couple little mishaps, but it's so small you can barely notice. The eyes are painted fantastically. Whoever painted the eyes, I'm very pleased with, because those are tiny, and I think they're how they should be. On the NECA figure, the eyes are a little bit bulging. On this one, I think they're just the right size. And the detail is absolutely fantastic. So overall, I'm going to give this figure a 9 out of 10. I think the overall quality, obviously that SH Monster Arts material they use is here. The detailing down to his chest, his like 8 or 10 pack, everything is just stunning on this figure. And I, for the first time, received a figure that I thought there's no way it's going to look this good based on the promotional pictures, and it turned out to be better than I could imagine. So this is promoting Godzilla King of the Monsters. If you haven't seen that film and you are a kaiju fan, what are you waiting for? Go see that film. I'm putting out a review on it pretty soon, and get your hands on this figure. I purchased this figure on Amazon for $69.99. After taxes, it comes out to about $75. And it's excellent value, excellent bang for your buck. You get not only one of the best Godzilla figures I've ever seen from SH Monster Arts, you get a detachable jaw and a breath effect. And if you don't want to use the detachable jaw, because in my opinion it is a little bit bulky and looks kind of weird, and you just want the breath effect coming out, you can always get a support stand for that as well. If you're a Godzilla fan, get this figure. I can't recommend it enough. I'm super happy. Guys, like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you'd like to see more figure reviews or movie reviews, kaiju talk, what have you, I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.